Pat, Blake, how are you guys? Good to see you. Can't wait
Good
to
to see
have
you,
you for
Steve.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Good to see you again.
Yeah. So we look forward to a great matchup, obviously, two 8-4 teams. Pittsburgh 6-2 in the league, and in a very, very competitive league. East Carolina came through again with a couple of huge wins, and we're just lucky to have both teams, and excited for a great day. Coach, I think your first bowl game was with us, Pat, and your first bowl game back in 2015.
A long time ago, Steve. No
I
doubt about it.
know. Isn't that crazy? It really is. And Blake, we were lucky enough to have you guys last year in a great game with NC State. So we really look forward to another great one. And both teams are very good travel partners for us as well, being a drive away. And like I say, we're just looking for a real great week, and then accumulate that with a great day on the field.
Thank you to the Go Bowling Military Bowl again. It's good to be back, and thank you to Steve for the invite, and we're excited to be there and excited to play in a bowl game. As I told our players earlier today, it's we had a little senior banquet award and a bowl announcement, and then we had to wait around and end up turning the guys loose because we were waiting so long. But we'll always celebrate winning around here, and we'll always be grateful that we're going to a bowl game. And that's something that East Carolina needs to get back to doing on a regular. And we've been able to do it back to back years and get to go back to Annapolis to do it again and excited about the opportunity. And I know the players are excited about the opportunity and playing a very good Pitt team and just kind of looking through those guys and what they've done on the year. And Coach Narduzzi over the years has been outstanding of what he's done at Pitt and just the reputation he has there and the defensive football brand of football he's played and what they're doing offensively right now. So a challenge, but um, we're excited for the opportunity to be back in Annapolis and be back in a bowl game and up there in DC.
Just for Coach Harrell.
Yeah, Coach, this is David Richmond from the Sports Objective. Just wanted to ask you about obviously it's Pearl Harbor Day, and it's great that we're playing in the Military Bowl again. And from that perspective, can you talk about, I know how you feel about the military, but can you talk about that and what it means to be playing again?
Yeah,
On,
yeah. You talk about Eastern North Carolina and so many military families in Eastern North Carolina that are connected to our university and our program in this part of the state, and just have a connection to the military that's big, and just for those folks to go back up to Annapolis and be a part of that. And obviously, we have the two academies in our conference with Army and Navy, so you get to experience those playing against those institutions a couple times a year, well, at least once a year. This past year, it's pretty special, and there's a connection there. And obviously, appreciate all the men and women who served our country over the years.
Coach Dugan Lloyd, WITN. That game was also obviously your first time as head coach in a bowl game. Is there anything specific that you remember most about that night a year later?
Yeah, well, obviously, Raji's run at the end of the game was a pretty cool experience, and I think you've heard me say this before. Is coming out of that tunnel but before the game, just seeing our fans pack it out and the energy and the vibe they brought, and it was really helped set the tempo for our team and for the game. And it was a really good game versus a good NC State team, and back and forth, and then finding a way to go finish it off the way it did. But just a really good experience overall throughout the week in DC for Christmas and the different events that we got to experience.
Coach Donovan Gibbs, listening with KNM 1340 AM, 96.6 FM Fox Sports Radio. Much of the conversation this Sunday has revolved around the competitive standing of the Group of Five programs relative to the Power Four. From your perspective, how would you assess the level of competition you encountered in the American Conference this season? Additionally, how meaningful is it for you and this East Carolina team to represent the Group of Five in a bowl play with the chance to close the year by potentially earning a victory against a powerful opponent?
We're excited about the opportunity, and I think for the young men in our locker room, they're excited the opportunity to play a P4 team. Obviously, we had two of those opponents on our schedule this year with BYU and NC State, and for the guys in our locker room, they get excited about that, and it means a little bit more. And you can't tell them there's a huge difference between G5 and P4. We obviously know there's some financial differerences, but for the guys in our locker room, they look forward to the challenge, and we're excited about that. We're excited to go represent the American Conference. I thought the American Conference has represented themselves pretty well this year. I think 7 or 8 P4 wins, uh, you know, throughout the season, and then even going back to last year's um, bowl season, I think 4 or 5 P4 wins throughout the bowl season from the American Conference. So we're excited to represent the American Conference and all of G5. And again, it's against a very good Pitt football team that's been outstanding throughout the year as well.
Coach, what's your familiarity? Jim Hammond from PantherLair.com. What's your familiarity like with Coach Tim Doust?
Coach Dallas is awesome. Like, and I was just talking to a few of our players earlier, and they were talking about the opportunity to see Coach Dallas and his family, and his daughters and my daughters are about the same age, and we're always over at the house, or we were always over at their house, and just a great coach, but an outstanding man, husband, and father, and that's just the type of people he is, and the type of person Coach Narduzzi is as well. From hiring those type of people.
Coach Zach Kaplan from Channel 9 here in Greenville. Just, you've talked about getting to that 9-win mark. And, now that you know where you're going, who you're playing, what would it mean for these seniors and upperclassmen to send them out that way?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to our seniors today about just the legacy they continue to leave, and we talked about sometimes it's not necessarily what you do, your accomplishments, but the feeling you give to somebody that really changes them and really affects them, and the feeling they've given to Pirate Nation and put excitement back in Pirate football has been pretty special. Obviously, 8 wins, most wins since 2014, 6 conference wins, the most conference wins since 2013. And an opportunity to go win number 9 is pretty special. And back-to-back bowl games and back-to-back years since the 60s is all part of their legacy. But they do it by playing the game the right way, and just kind of excited for those young men to go out and be together one last time. And it's a group that enjoys each other. They enjoy ball, and they don't mind going to work. So that's what it makes a fun group to be around, and excited to see them go play together one last time.
uh, for inviting us to your bowl. The Go Bowl and Military Bowl, again, was my first bowl game. We're excited to be back 10 years later to represent the University of Pittsburgh in this game. And again, we've got a great opponent. Blake has done an outstanding job, obviously, in his second season, I believe they're taking over that club and doing a heck of a job. Obviously, American Conference, we get an opportunity to go compete there. We know how competitive it is. You look at the playoffs today, and the two G5 teams that are in there. So we know the parity. I really don't care. Group of 5, or a power 4. It really doesn't matter. They're football players, and they all got hearts, and it comes down to who plays with more toughness and who wants it the most. And that's why we compete. That's kind of the football team we have in our locker room as well. So it's about effort and toughness, and that's what we're going to bring to Washington D.C. So, questions?
Hey Pat, Stephen Thompson here. I was just wondering if you have a notion yet of how whole your team will be given, transfer decisions and NFL decisions, things of that nature.
Yeah, at this point, it's whole. It's exactly like it was when we finished up with Miami. So there's been no decisions there. And again, when we have a couple guys, go pro, I have no idea. Will they play in the bowl game before they declare? I have no idea. We'll find out as we go. But right now, haven't got any indication there.
Hi, Pat. It's Amanda Godsey. Do you expect Mason to play in the game?
I sure do, Amanda. Absolutely.
Coach, this is David Richmond from the Sports Objective. We cover East Carolina sports. Just wanted to talk about you have such a rich tradition at Pitt. I mean, as a kid, I remember Tony Dorsett playing for Pitt, Dan Marino way back, and you've done a nice job in your tenure. Another great season. What does it mean for you guys to play in the bowl? And obviously, East Carolina has played Pitt over the years, especially when we were independent back during my college years.
Yeah, David. Again, number one, again, we're all blessed to be able to play these bowl games. And you know, again, I appreciate Steve, known him for a long time. You know, running this bowl, it's a first class bowl game. You know, the hospitality is incredible, and so regardless of what bowl game it is, you know, we're all blessed to be able to play in these, and you know, we're blessed that they put them on. So we've got to keep those going. But you know, we've got great tradition at Pitt, and you know, again, bowl games are bowl games. It's a celebration. It's an opportunity to go out and play one more football game with your football team. It's the last time this 25 team will play all together. And again, you know, the tradition. You know, we try to uphold that tradition all the time. You know, well, we've had great players, you know, from back, like you said, you know, Dan Marino, Tony Dorsett, and Jimbo Covert, to Kalijah Cansey, Sebastian Dennis, and Kenny Pickett, who my kids were all fired up a few minutes ago, just scored a touchdown. So, you know, we'll continue to build and send guys to the National Football League.
Hey Pat, it's Justin Guerrero. I'm just curious, for yourself, your staff, your players, just how did you guys spend the day? You had to wait a little bit into the afternoon to get word on the bowl. Just how did you spend this day, and were any of you guys together?
No, we weren't together. You know, the kids had the day off today. We knew we'd find out sometime in the afternoon. So there was no, you know, big exciting plans, just to be all in the room together. You know, they're studying for finals. We're going into finals week this week. So that'll be a big opportunity for our guys to show not only just what we do football wise, but to go out and excel in the classroom. So that's going on this week as well. But no, they're on their own. You know, quiet hours in the dorm, the whole deal. It's my wife's birthday today, so went to church this morning. Had breakfast together as a family. Had a nice dinner earlier, and watched the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's how I spent my day, watching football, and obviously wanted to watch the selection as far as the 12 teams in the playoffs.
Nathan Brysinger with Pittsburgh Sports Now. This is your eighth bowl with Pitt. You're 2-5 going in this game. You guys know how to win, obviously, after a little bit of a layoff, but you've also lost a handful of games. I mean, how do you maybe adjust the approach over these next couple of weeks heading into this game?
You know what? I think it's bowl games are bowl games. I mean, they're not like they used to be. We can look at bowl records. I think whether it's the matchups. I mean, who doesn't play in the bowl game? Whether it's Kenny Pickett not playing in his 50th game, he obviously played an ACC championship game. But when you guys got probably one of the greatest victories we ever had was when we had 9 guys get opted out, and we went out to the Sun Bowl and beat UCLA. So regardless of opt outs or guys going to the NFL, whatever it may be, our job is to go win football games. Last year we didn't have our first, second, or third team quarterback going to the game. So again, I think most people will take a look at really what your record is during the season. And again, I wish it was better than what it was, because we left a couple out there that you'd like to have back. It felt like we could have been a 10-2 football team, but there's no going backwards. And but bowl games are bowl games. Again, we'll put a ton of effort into it and try to go out there and win, and that's what we do.
Pat, I was just curious, like, how much of are you involved in these conversations with the bowl selection process, or do you just find out like how we do?
You know what? I find out how you do. Matter of fact, I was sitting on my couch and my kids start, I figured I was going to get a phone call, and my kids start barking off who's getting picked up. It was on Twitter. So I was like, what is going on here? So no, I'm finding out like you guys are. So we're as deep in the dark as you are. I don't know. Maybe Blake had more information than we did. I don't know.
Just keep refreshing the Twitter, Pat. It was all good, Coach.
I wasn't even on Twitter. I said, just tell me what you hear. I am not listening to that. I was watching the end of the Steeler game.
That's what I should have been doing.
Yeah, I wasn't listening to it. Any other questions? Steve, you got any questions? Unmute yourself if you do.
You talking about?
I have no questions. I'm just excited to have you guys down here and spend some time with you.
Absolutely.
Just kind of curious for both coaches, 11 a.m. kickoff here. How do you get your guys some coffee and get them ready for this early kick?
Who asked that question?
Zach Kaplan from Greenville, WNCT.
Hey, Zach, I don't know about Blake here, but we practice in the morning. So we're a morning team. So this will be right down our alley. I think we had about 8 noon games, so we're just talking about an hour early. But our guys are used to getting up early and playing, so we practice in the morning, and we'll get into bed a little bit earlier and go play ball.
Yeah, Zach, we went on that run of all night games until November and had those 4 Thursday night games and didn't play a Saturday game in October. So definitely a weird layout throughout the season for that, but did play the last game of the season, FAU, there at noon. But, I think for our guys, just like coaches, we practice in the morning. So getting up and going at it. If you're talking about a head, as a coach perspective, you like playing the morning games just because you get it out of the way and get it rolling and can get relaxed a little bit on Saturday night. So anytime you can play football, it's always a good thing.